Your books. You're international.
Which you have not read one of.
I'm a YouTube guy. And
I know.
noticed in one of
your
things.
generation is morons.
Exactly. Morons. No, I mean, it's subjective. Audio, reading is
No,
good.
no.
I've read a lot. But I also like YouTube. But anyways, you were going to say something?
You said it yourself. You haven't read a book since the last time you fell off your dinosaur.
Your books. How many do you sell per year?
Nothing. Nobody reads anymore.
Nothing.
Your generation can't read anything beyond a tweet.
You would be in the top 5, I'd say, intellectuals regarding the Israel-Palestine conflict. Can you agree with that?
No, I would say top 2.
Top 2. Okay.
Not because I'm an intellectual, it's because I work hard.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker. I believe in
Amen to isolation.
no pain, no gain.
Yeah. Wow, so we're going to get into something crazy.
No, we're not, because we're running out of time.
No, my friend, I have so much to talk to you.
No, we have only till 11:30. No, I have
We haven't
appointments.
even touched upon the essence.
Suleiman, you're a character. I like it. But I can't. I'm going to just have to call it off, shut it down.
What's the best way to communicate
You'll
with
come
you?
back another time.
Hell no! Hold up, man. What time is it right now?
11:15.
How about this? Can I leave this stuff with you for you to reflect upon it? Take a year, take whatever. Read all of this, reflect.
Leave it for me in jail. I'll be jail time reading.
I'll mail it to you.
There's no email, so you'll have to send it in snail mail. Have you been active in any of the current movements?
That's another thing I want to speak to you about. This is like in the back here. Play the game to change the game. You have to, in a sense, coalesce yourself to reach a certain stature whereupon you have monetary value. Imagine a Martin Luther King, without the money. Okay, he's very effective. Imagine him with $200 million.
Probably a disaster. Money corrupts.
Okay, it does, but it comes down to the character.
You need it, but when you start talking about astronomical sums, that's why the PLO ended up ruining the cause. Too much oil money.
So it's inevitable. Okay. Alright, I gotta skip to some real important shit. Alright, just briefly, if you can be very brief. What do you think is going to happen in the next 10 years? What do the next 10 years bring with them?
Impossible to predict.
Okay. What is your humble opinion? The best way to deal with the situation that Palestinians are going through with mass media covering? That's in your book. Yeah.
I can't tell. Look, the momentum has to come from there. There are a lot of very intelligent, resourceful, clever Palestinians. They don't need me.
Yeah,
they need to find it within themselves to change their circumstances, and right now they've lost that will.
And then they had even the Great March of Return. Isn't that an upsurge of hope?
Yes, it was. Unfortunately, it garnered no international support. They were left on their own.
Got you.
And left on their own, they can't succeed.
What is the power of a Kanye West figure championing?
Kanye West is mentally deficit.
What is the power, the influence of, who do you like? Oprah? Of an Oprah figure?
Oprah?
Speaking for Palestine, championing Palestine.
Diverging
the two worlds. Nonviolent protest with American.
Oprah is a very savvy businesswoman who knows what causes you can embrace and what causes are toxic. And even Oprah, if she starts going too far out the limb, the powers that be will take the plug and pull it out. And Oprah won't be able to be on any television program or radio program. Our system is very effective in that way. Go one day and be the story of Paul Robeson, who you don't know and you know nothing about.
I've heard about him. Wow, Paul Robeson. Man, I have an activist friend. He's very old now, 70 something. He talks about Paul Robeson,
Right.
and he
Well,
shows all this. And
find out what happened to him
Paul Robeson.
after he started to say things you're not allowed to say.
So what's that mean? This is a hopeless
So,
cause?
no, it's not a hopeless cause. Don't look for people in power to champion your cause. You're wasting your time.
So start from the grassroots.
That's the only way to go.
Suppose you work your way up to being a person of power and influence, and then from
then-
that point forward, you turn the tide and begin championing the cause.
They'll pull the plug on you.
Which means they'll kill you.
Well, sometimes they kill you, sometimes they destroy you other ways.
Would they not pull the plug on you if you're just starting grassroots up anyways?
Not
They're just
until
gonna
you're
put weights
not
on
until
you.
you're on the radar screen.
Exactly.
When you're above the radar, then troubles begin.
So then you must catapult yourself up so that your radar screen is vast, and then you start emitting it rather than emitting it slowly, and then they put the weight on you.
Don't look for it. Don't look.
Is that not a viable point?
Your emphasis is way too much on great leaders. The only thing that's going to change this world is if people help themselves, not great leaders. Great leaders are secondary.
Can the great leader not inspire the vision as Gandhi did?
Of course the great leader can inspire, but the great leader inspires to the extent that he or she is connected with the people.
Of course.
So it still depends on the mass of people. You know why Mandela has such a pure reputation? He was very fortunate, he was 29 years in jail, so he didn't have to dirty his hands with dirty politics. If he had to dirty his hands with dirty politics, he wouldn't come across as such a saintly figure. You know, he was, in many ways, even though God only knows what an incredible achievement it was to preserve your sanity and dignity after 3 decades in jail, the fact of the matter is, he did not do it. There was a mass movement in South Africa that did it. They were inspired by him and his willingness to sacrifice his life in jail for principles, but he did not do it. It was millions of people, a large number of whom lost their lives, who did it. The little people who were really stupendous human beings, the changes they wrought. It took a lot of ordinary people to break down our system of Jim Crow racism. It was quite a heroic, very impressive chapter in human history, not just American history, it's an impressive chapter in human history. And that's what you should be focusing on, and not on your great leaders, great heroes, and your hip-hop crap.
The great leaders, great heroes also serve a beneficial aspect.
They do.
In the sense of bringing a good image and inspiring people in a certain light. Maybe it's not the groundwork.
I agree.
But the branding is important for the
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Okay.
But don't even look for others for self-esteem. You have to look to yourself.
Of course, but you know, in hard times you need
Maybe
an idol in a sense.
I
A
don't
role
know.
model,
I'm
that's
not,
what I mean.
I'm not for idols.
A role model?
Yes, I agree with that.
Thank you.
No, I do. I'm not going to argue.
Do you consider yourself a Holocaust survivor, you personally?
Of course not. My
No.
parents would have smacked me in the face if I said something like that.
True. Because I saw online, this guy described you as a Holocaust survivor. Somebody else said he's not a Holocaust survivor. Then the guy said back, but he was 5 years old. You were 5 years old?
I wasn't 5 years old. Stop. These
Okay.
people just want to make a buck.
Oh, got you. Okay. No, it was a sincere video. I don't think he was trying to use.
Yeah, sincere imbecile.